Let's get into our next weekly feature with Jerry's second title talk.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jerry Wu, and you are listening to Title Talk Tuesday. This is our second segment. And again, my name is Jerry with your title insurance specialist here at First American Title. So, really glad we're doing this again. And first of all, I wanted to say thank you to Ryan McMahon for putting on this show for you guys. Really thrilled and happy to have the opportunity to be on here. So this is again our second segment. The first time we are here doing this, we basically did a overview of what title insurance is. So if you haven't gotten a chance to listen to that yet, go ahead and go back, and you should be able to find the link and check that out real quick. It'll give you a quick understanding of what title insurance is, what we do, and the services that we provide. Now, for our second segment today, I thought we would touch on a subject that it's gonna be about reconveyances. Now, let me kind of give a little explanation before I kind of get into it and what a reconveyance is. First of all, let's talk about what a deed of trust is. Okay, so when you go out and let's say you're working with a lender, when you get a loan from this particular lender, that lender is going to put a lien on your house. Now, the way they put a lien on your house or your property is by recording on title what's called a deed of trust. Okay, so again, when you get a loan, the lender is going to put a lien on your property, and they're going to do so by recording a document that's called a deed of trust. Now, when we, as the title company, when we look in public records, when somebody asks us, hey, does this property have any open loans? We're looking for this particular deed of trust. Okay, now, when a deed of trust or when a loan gets paid off, the lender would then record what's called a reconveyance. So again, when we go back on the title chain and we're looking at this title chain and we're seeing, okay, are there any open loans? If we see an open deed of trust and then we see subsequently a reconveyance recorded, then we know that deed of trust or that loan has been paid off. Okay, so that's how we generally know how a loan has been paid off or if it's still showing opened. Very important if you think about it, right? Because that's how we're going to determine what loans will need to be cleared prior to transferring title to a new buyer. Because, of course, the new buyer doesn't want to get stuck with the previous owner's loan. Now, if you've ever seen a deed of trust, it's sometimes there's many pages, 20 plus pages, 30 pages even, okay? But if you ever seen a reconveyance document, it's generally just 1 or 2 pages. And here's really what I'm wanting to talk to you guys about is I'm going to kind of segue this into the topic of fraud. Because believe it or not, here in Southern California, we are the fraud capital of the country. I mean, there's so much title fraud going on now that it's become a real issue. And I really, truly, in my personal opinion, believe there is so much fraud going on because the way that we conduct a lot of real estate business, especially in my industry, title, transferring title and doing all these things is a very archaic way of doing things, right? Let's think about how we actually transfer title. I'm transferring title to John Smith. I mean, it's 2016. But even still, all I really need to do is get a document called a grant deed, sign this document in front of a notary, get it recorded, and now title has been transferred to John Smith. I mean, if you can imagine, that opens up a world of options for people that want to commit fraud. Okay, now let's kind of bring it back a little bit and go back to this reconveyance thing. Now, again, if you've ever seen a reconveyance document, it's a very simple document. It's usually just 1 or 2 pages. Very easy to forge. I hate to say it, I'm not putting any ideas in anybody's head, I'm hoping, but it's very easy to forge. So, what happens, right? What happened? Let me give you a story that happened. This is a little while back ago before we started catching on to what people were doing. So essentially, to make a long story short, there was this gentleman years ago that was going out and getting loans. So he would get this loan, a deed of trust would be recorded against the property, and then what he would do is forge a reconveyance and then get that reconveyance recorded. Well, next thing you know, we look at the title chain and it looks like he owns the house free and clear. What do you think he does next? He goes and gets another loan. He gets another loan, then he reconveys that loan. And then he does it again. He'll go out and get another loan and then reconvey that loan. And this became a pattern, right? So long story short, this person was eventually caught. And of course, people took legal actions against him and so forth. But imagine what happened when all these lenders started foreclosing on the loans. I mean, you got 4 or 5 lenders on this one property thinking they're all in first position and all wanting to get the home or the house back when they're foreclosing it. So one of the things that title companies do today to combat this type of particular fraud is anytime that we see a loan get reconveyed and we don't see a second loan come in to pay off that first one, we're going to question it. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a loan on your house with ABC lender and you owe $200,000. And you just happen to have $200,000 laying around one day, and then you decide to pay off that loan, that mortgage, request a payoff statement, get a payoff statement that says $200,000, you wire $200,000, boom, you own your house free and clear. And then the lender, what they're going to do is get a reconveyance recorded. Okay, anytime we see a reconveyance that gets recorded like that, we're going to question it. And it's not because it's impossible that people pay off a 30-year mortgage in, 5 years or 6 years or 7 years. It just doesn't happen very often. Okay, most of the time people refinance, get a second loan or another loan to pay off their existing loan. So again, not entirely impossible, it just doesn't happen very often. You add that to the fact that what I told you about all the fraud cases that's happened, and we basically want to make sure we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's. So how do you, as a homeowner, or let me bring it back, how do we actually verify this? Well, a lot of the times when you actually go and sell the house later on down the road after you've paid off your home free and clear, the title company is going to see this reconveyance and they're going to say, hey, homeowner, I know that you paid off this loan, but I'm going to need some proof to really know you paid it off. And of course, the homeowner, the first thing they're going to say is, well, I have this reconveyance document. Well, the title company is going to say, I'm sorry, that's not enough. Do you have anything else? And at that point, you hopefully will have a letter from the lender thanking you for the business. A lot of the times when you pay off an existing loan, the lender will send you a letter that says, thank you for your business, congratulations on paying off your loan, etc., etc. So that will work. Sometimes a wire receipt will work when you wire the money to the lender. A lot of different things, documentations outside of that, a copy of the reconveyance will work. So my point is, if you do pay off an existing mortgage and you didn't get a refinance, you didn't get another loan to pay it off, keep all your documentation, keep everything, okay? Because that's how title companies are going to verify certain things, such as this example that I'm talking about with reconveyances. So again, point to the story. If you pay off an existing mortgage, if you pay off an existing loan, please keep all documentations. Please keep all letters from the lenders. Please keep receipts because trust me, one day you might need it. So that's my segment today. For today, again, this is Jerry Wu, your title specialist here for Title Talk Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed this segment and have a great week.
Thank you, Jerry, for continuing to keep us safe while we operate out in the field. And yeah, keep us out of lawsuits.